Hello guys, Blaggiga here. Today with a video about one of the most iconic and popular cards of all time. The Black Luster Soldier. Although the original Black Luster Soldier is a ritual monster with odd effect, the most iconic is probably his brother from Invasion of Chaos. The reasons might be his artwork, the powerful effect that once led to his ban, as well as appearances in the anime. But from today's standpoint, this card is not as powerful as it once was. To change that, Konami released a wave of new support cards for old archetypes. One of them being, you guessed it, the Black Luster Soldier. Unfortunately, the new support was a bummer. But, and this is also the reason why I make this video, Konami already announced that the new set Raging Tempest will also feature additional support cards for this archetype. So, in this video we will discuss all the support cards up to this day. I will highlight the biggest flaws of the deck, but not without offering some ways to fix them. Let's start with the new ritual monster, the Black Luster Soldier Super Soldier. This guy is an upgrade to the old Black Luster Soldier ritual monster. If he destroys an opponent's monster by battle, he inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. Also, if he is destroyed, he replaces himself with a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster. Old Yu-Gi-Oh players might ask themselves, Gaia, isn't this a really old card Yugi played? Yes, it is, and it was used in the anime together with Kuriboh to create the original Black Luster Soldier ritual monster. I have to give Konami credit for being so nostalgic, touring this random summon in the anime against May Valentine into a deck idea. So here are all the Gaia the Fierce Knight monsters. The very old Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight. The new Lord Gaia the Fierce Knight. And the two new ones that were actually designed to support the archetype. Arisen Gaia, the Fierce Knight, and Charging Gaia the Fierce Knight. Because the first two don't support the archetype, we only gonna talk about the two last ones. Arisen Gaia the Fierce Knight can be normal summoned without tributing if your opponent controls more monster than you. Also, if he is tributed, for example for a tribute summon, you can special summon one Black Luster Soldier from your hand or graveyard, and yes, you can also choose non-ritual monster like the Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. Last but not least, you can even use him in the graveyard for a ritual summon. In that case he is simply banished. Charging Gaia the Fierce Knight, on the other hand, lets you add any Black Luster Soldier monster from your deck to your hand, if he is tributed. Also you can normal summon him, but his attack is lowered by 400. After we talked about the level 7 Gaia monsters, we, of course, have to take a look at the level 1 Kuribohs. The old original Kuriboh can be used, but because he doesn't have synergy with the archetype you probably want to stick to the new ones, Kuriboh and Sakuriboh. Let's start with Kuriboh. If you are getting attacked by an opponent's monster, you can discard Kuriboh to turn that monster into defense position. And to stop the attack, in the graveyard it has the same effect as Awakened Gaia the Fierce Knight, letting you banish it as a part of the required ritual cost. Sakuriboh on the other hand lets you draw a card if it is tributed. Also you can banish it from the grave to protect one of your monsters that would be destroyed by battle. But now let's finally move on with the new ritual spell card called Super Soldier Ritual. This card lets you summon each Black Luster Soldier ritual monster. Also you can banish one dark and one light monster from your graveyard to special summon one ritual monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. The last monster accessions for the archetype were new big guys, like the new Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Evening Twilight. This guy is basically a copy of the Black Luster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. Only his effect and his summoning condition is slightly different. You can only summon him if you have exactly the same amount of light and dark monsters in your graveyard. Then you banish all the light or dark monster in your grave, and depending what you did banish, he gets to banish one card from your opponent's hand, or one monster from the field. Another big guy is the Black Luster Soldier Sacred Soldier. Upon summon he lets you return one banished light or dark monster to your graveyard to banish one of your opponent's monsters. Also, if he destroys an opponent's monster in battle, you can add one level 7 or higher warrior type monster from your graveyard to your hand. Last but not least, we also got 2 small versions of the big ones. If they are used for a ritual summon, the ritual monster basically gets the same effects as the one of the big warriors they try to impersonate. Also, if they are banished, you can add a ritual spell or a ritual monster from your deck to your hand, which pairs well with their bigger versions. You can also search the small black cluster soldiers with the card, Soul of the Supreme Soldier. The soul lets you discard a black cluster soldier monster to gain 3000 EP until your opponent's next turn. If it's destroyed, the card also searches one small knight. Here is the Attribution field spell, Gateway of Chaos. Upon activation, it lets you add a black cluster ritual monster or a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster directly from your deck to your hand. By this time you realize that the deck has a lot of searching going on. Also, every time monsters are sent to the graveyard, you can put spell counters on it. You can remove 3 to also get the additional ritual spell card. Finally, we talked over all the spells and monsters. There are only 2 trap cards remaining: Super Soldier Rebirth and Super Soldier Shield. The card lets you tribute your huge black luster soldiers to special summon another one from your hand, then banishing it from the grave to add a black luster soldier monster back to your hand. Super Soldier Shield, on the other hand, protects your soldiers from targeting effects. You can even use it again by using one spell counter, for example from Gateway of Chaos. Now that we have seen all the cards, let's talk about them, and about the bad things. As I already told you, the deck was a bummer. So there have to be reasons for that, right? In fact, there are plenty. One of the main reasons is the new ritual spell. Although it has nice additional effect in the graveyard, it has 2 flaws. The first is the fact that Black Cluster Soldier Super Soldier is not named in the card. So you can't use the really powerful new card pre-preparations of rights to search it. Even worse, the levels of the tributed monsters have to equal 8. Remember how I told you that I found it nice that Konami tried to make the Gaia plus Kuriboh summon a thing? Because of the level restriction they basically force you to. But that makes the deck very inconsistent. You need a level 1, a level 7, the ritual monster and a ritual spell on your hand. But what if you have 2 level 7s? It does work with the old ritual monster, but not with the new one. If you only play with level 4 monsters, this problem does not appear. Sadly, the effects of the Gaia monsters are pretty good, and some cards like the Gateway of Chaos or even the new ritual monster support them, which makes you wanna play them. At least it works with the old ritual. Because of that, the old ritual monster is actually better than the new one. Another way to change this would be to give us a new ritual spell without such a level restriction, and that lists the super soldier in the card. The level 4 and 8 engine would also benefit from popular ritual deck monsters like Manju and Senju. These 2 even have a light attribute and can be banished from the grave to summon the powerful soldiers from your hand. We also need an easier way to summon monster like the Sacred Soldier, which would make the deck more aggressive. Last but not least, the deck need more defense. A card that interrupts your opponent or a very strong floodgate. To make sure that all your effort is not destroyed by one card during your opponent's turn. The deck simply needs that kind of comeback ability. But the best possible support card would be a level 8 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster that has an effect if it is tributed. Something that makes your ritual monster unaffected by opponent's card effects, special summons another Black Luster Soldier from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Or banishing cards from your opponent's side on the field. Keep in mind, if the new ritual is destroyed, he could special summon this monster and you immediately had enough resources to ritual summon again. Seems strong, but the deck simply need 2 or 3 cards on that power level to be relevant in the metagame right now. Seems like I am finished with the bad things about the deck, right? Nope. Sadly not. Another flaw, even if it's a small one, is the fact that Envoy of the Evening Twilight skips your battle phase in case you want to use one of his effects. In this deck you need to finish your opponent quickly, because you will lose the resource grind game. Another flaw is the attribute of the soul. It's earth, which makes sense because both rituals are also earth. Sadly a bad choice because you need light and dark monster in your graveyard. And with that we discussed everything. As you see, the current support is good, but not worthy for such an iconic card. Let's hope together that the upcoming support might change this. Let me know what you guys think about my suggestions. How would your Blackluster Soldier support card look like if you could create one? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate a like or a sub to my channel, because this video took quite some time to make. Anyway, have a nice day. Till next time. Bye.